Welcome back. In this session, we would be discussing questions 51 to 75. Now, most of the questions here were from science and technology and economics. Economics, the questions were directly from NCERT 11th and 12th. So, if you have been doing NCERTs very thoroughly, it's 100% sure that you can score very well. The questions on science were based on the recent development. So, being in line with the daily news, updates, current affairs is very, very important. We have covered a lot of those news under the current affairs section at exam race and also the MCQs running on the Facebook. So those are the areas where we have covered these. Now coming on to the questions first. In augmented reality, the image generated on the computer are projected onto the real life objects. However, in virtual reality, a simulated environment is shown. So basically the definitions are given vice versa. So both the statements become incorrect. 3 and 4 are the correct statement, so B becomes your right option here. Now Denisovan was in news, and this is one of the early human species that has been discovered. This is very, very important, and the researchers have working to analyze the protein for the same species. The next is which is not correct regarding the following developments. Now, functional chromosome can be created by joining the DNA segments from different species. That's true. That is when we are talking about the recombinant DNA technology. Pieces of artificial functional DNA can be created in laboratories under the artificial gene synthesis. However, pieces of DNA taken out from an animal cell can be made to replicate outside a living body in laboratory is not true, and D again is true. So C is the option that would be there. A digital signature is an electronic method of signing an electronic document and ensuring the original content is unchanged. So that's the right answer. So 3 only would be the right answer. The next is wearable technology with wearable devices. So wearable devices have been used for location identification, sleep monitoring, and assisting the hearing impaired person. So all those 3 become the right answer here. The next question is RNA interference technology has gained popularity in the last few years because it is used in gene silencing, treatment of cancer, and viral resistant crops. So 1, 2 and 4 are the right options here. Now, this is a direct question on gravitational wave, as we have already discussed in our classes on expected questions. So, recombinant DNA technology, gravitational waves have already been mentioned in the classes. The next is, this was again the part of our expected question. So, multi-drug resistance in the microbial pathogens is explained by, so you have taking incorrect dose of antibiotics to cure the animals and using antibiotics in livestock. So 2 and 3 are the right options. Genetic predisposition is not related to it. So you have 2 and 3 as the correct option here. The next is Cas9 protein is a molecular scissor for gene editing. So that's the right answer. Again, Cas9 technology we discussed in the expected series. So science and technology, a lot of questions directly from the expected question section. Now which is not correct. So make sure you are reading the question carefully. The question says not correct. Hepatitis B is transmitted like HIV. That's correct. Hepatitis B does not have a vaccine is incorrect. Both have have number of infected people that are much more than those infected with HIV. So that's again correct, and the symptoms remain dormant in many people for a lot of years. So that's again correct. So B is the incorrect option here. Now consider the following statements. Based on this statement, I can say both the statements have been correct. Now this is dealing with the article 226(1) and the basics of Constitution. So if you have been going through the basics of Constitution, this becomes very, very important question if you have been covering the NCERTs carefully. The next question again from the NCERT, as I said. So, purchasing power parity exchange rates are calculated by comparing the price of the same basket of goods and services under different countries. That's correct. But India is the third in the world after China and US. So second becomes incorrect, one only is the right answer here. The next question is, with reference to cultivation of kharif crops in last 5 years, the sugarcane area has declined significantly, and the area under highest cultivation is the cotton. So 1 becomes incorrect. Cotton is less than sugarcane, so 3 becomes incorrect. So 2 and 4 are your right choices. However, in the last year, the 2018-19, we have seen a marginal increase, but over the years the trend has been decreasing for the sugarcane. So 2 and 4 would be your right option for this question. The next is, among the 10 major imports in India, you have vegetable oils and animal fat as one of the major valued imports. So D is the right option here. The next is the definition of liberty. So liberty basically talks about opportunity to develop oneself fully, and the idea is no person shall be deprived of his or her personal liberty as available under natural law. So idea is to develop oneself to full or develop oneself fully. So you have D as the right option. Very direct question from your NCERT political science. Again a direct question from your NCERT. Now likely measure the RBI takes to stop the slide of rupee is to curb the import, ease down the conditions of external commercial borrowing, and follow an expansionary monetary policy that we have already discussed in the NCERTs. So it's not related to Masala Bonds. So you have A, C and D as the right options here. Now the next question talks about the storage system. So RBI recent directive relating to storage of payment data system known as data dikkat command the payment system provides that they should ensure the data relating to payment systems operated in them are stored in the system only and only in India. So that's the major key point that you need to understand here. This point that is given is not relevant. It's nothing related to public sector enterprises, and the last statement is incorrect because you have the report which is submitted to RBI and not the Comptroller and Auditor General. So you have one only as the correct option. So one only becomes your right choice here. The next is a very direct question which we already discussed in the expected question. So general data protection regulation is related to European Union. So it is adaptation of a law on data protection and privacy for the citizens. Now again, the action plan for prioritization and implementation of cooperation areas in nuclear field was done between India and Russia. A very direct question from the recent happenings after January 2019. Money multiplier is basically inverse of reserve ratio. So reserve ratio increases, that is incorrect. So money multiplier will increase as the bank deposits increase. So bank deposit increase, that means the increase in the banking habit of the population. So 2 becomes the right option here. The next is service area approach has been implemented under lead bank system. So the idea is to go to 15 to 20 villages in the rural and the semi urban areas and provide the service. The next is sand is a minor mineral according to the prevailing law of the country, that is correct. State government has a power to frame rules to prevent illegal mining of the minor material. Now minor material not only includes this, but you also have the mud that is included under it. State government has a power to grant mining lease to the minor minerals, but the power related to this lies under central government is not correct. So the first section of it is correct, but this is willingly intentionally given to confuse you. So 1 and 3 are the right options here. The next is most of the India's external debt is owed to. So the most of the India's external debt is owed to the commercial borrowings, the NRI deposits back home. So mainly borrowed from the overseas market. So that's the incorrect option. Then you have the India's debt which is denominated in dollars. So 2 only becomes the correct answer. Now as we have seen, India borrowed from most of the overseas markets and NRIs, and that makes it one of the highest proportion. So 1 is incorrect, 2 is correct here. The next question is assets of the commercial bank includes advance, investments and money at call and short notice. Besides that, you also have balances with other bank. You have the cash and the basic furniture and the fixations that are there. So deposits is not the correct option. The next is, in context to India, which of the following is a contributor to reduce the risk of currency crisis? Now currency crisis could be reduced only when you have trade surplus. So if you understand the basics of economics, this question becomes very, very direct. So this could happen only when you have the foreign currency earnings of Indian IT sector or remittances from abroad. However, expenditure would not be part of it. So you have 1 and 3 as the right options. So with this we covered the third set. We would be bringing in many sets. Stay subscribed and many more updates for your prelims and mains examinations. So have a wonderful day ahead.